Hi everyone. In this video, I'm interviewing Lynn Hansen, the Executive Director of Career Services at the University of Central Florida. Lynn is here today to offer tips on how to find a job. Lynn, thanks so much for joining.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you for having me.
So let's start on campus. What on-campus resources can students use to help them find jobs?
Well, there are a lot of resources. I won't be able to touch on all of them, but a good starting place is with their career center. All major universities and colleges have a career services office of some sort. It might have a different title, but there are career people on campus to help. Through departments like mine, we've got a whole host of services and programs that help students do everything from figure out the right path to be on, what they should major in, what they can do with a particular degree, or what it takes to pursue a particular industry or job that they might be interested in. We've got services that help with all those things. Along the way, they pick up skills on building resumes and how to effectively interview and the importance of networking. And then as they go through, internships and other experiences are important. And finally, towards the end of their degree, we will help students connect with employers or whatever their next step might be. For some people, that's graduate school. Resources come in many shapes and colors. There are student organizations, there are clubs, there are faculty groups and faculty members you can get involved with, academic advisors. There are lots of people on campus that are here specifically to help students succeed. So make sure you seek out those resources.
Great. So do you have any tips on how students can make the most out of career fairs, maybe in-person and online career fairs?
Sure, absolutely. The key to being most successful at a career fair is doing some legwork in advance. Career fairs will always promote and identify which companies or organizations are going to be at the career fair. And it really serves a student well to make sure they've done some research, identify the organizations that they're most interested in. Make sure you know what that company is all about. We hear from employers all the time that they talk to students, to candidates, and when it becomes clear that the student has absolutely no idea what that organization does, the recruiter loses a little interest. So it really does serve a person well to be prepared, be ready, take it seriously, and that will help you put your best foot forward. Also, whether it's in person or virtual, you need to dress the part and behave the way a professional person would behave. You have to let that recruiter or that hiring manager know that you're serious about this. Even in some industries where the typical workday would be a much more casual environment, you don't want to look like you just came out of the gym or off the basketball court to talk to a potential employer.
Great. So where else can students turn for help finding jobs? Are there any resources, perhaps online, that students could use?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Most college students should be aware of a number of different online resources that are available to them. LinkedIn is a great resource. Once again, at your career center or through other programs at your school, at your university, they will have sessions on how to maximize the use of LinkedIn to enhance a professional network and get the word out that you are a smart, talented person that is looking for a position in this particular area. But online is not the only avenue that people should be thinking about. If you are actively looking for a position, you don't want to keep that a secret. Your parents need to know that. Your friends need to know that. The pastor at your church needs to know it. Everybody needs to know that you are actively looking for a position and you're very excited about it. And it would help if they knew what kind of field you were in or what kind of position you wanted. We sometimes refer to that as the hidden job market. because sometimes positions don't even make their way to a job board or to LinkedIn. Sometimes it will be the neighbor saying, hey, I work for a company that's looking for an XYZ. And sometimes connections can be made through that kind of avenue. So don't keep it a secret. If you are looking for a position, you want to be very persistent, and you want to make sure that everybody that you know can help you find and secure the best position possible.
That's a perfect segue into the next question that I have for you about networking. So networking is huge. So who should students be reaching out to, and where can they find these people?
Okay, that's a great question. Networking. Students, again, should be talking to everyone. Networking is truly a mutual relationship. Sometimes students make the mistake of thinking if they can identify the president of some organization and reach out to that person, that's networking. Well, that's making an introduction. Networking is when people get together and collaborate and work with one another, and they have something mutual to achieve. It benefits both parties to establish that strong network. Start networking with your professors, with your classmates, with alumni from the university. Work with an alumni office or through a career center, and often we will have ways that people can connect with one another. LinkedIn is a great resource to try and find alumni from your institution. Reach out to them and do an informational interview. That's when you ask them, how did you get to where you are? What path did you take? How can I take steps to reach the achievements that you've had? So there are many ways to do that, but it's not just walking up and saying, hello, my name is, do you have anything for me? It's about solving a problem for another, and they can solve a problem for you.
Great. So at what point during senior year should students start the job search process?
Freshman year.
Oh, freshman year.
Really, the job search process is not a switch that you flip when you are X number of weeks away from graduation. The entire college experience is building a skill set, competencies, filling out the pieces of a resume. And so you truly need to begin thinking about the end goal as you're coming into the university. And I understand freshmen are not always thinking about years down the line, but as a student goes through school, they can choose to engage with things that really will help them later on. They can be fun things. They can be clubs and doing things with others and enjoying your time as a student in college, but you can make choices to achieve everything, where you join a club as a freshman, as a sophomore, maybe you're on one of the committees. Later on, you take a leadership role. Well, that path will give you communication skills, teamwork skills, leadership skills, perhaps time management, financial management. You can pick up these very sought after qualities all along the way. So as a student early in your academic career, start to get those experiences. As you get more towards the middle or later on, maybe as a junior, maybe as a senior, look for an internship or do volunteer work or many, many other kinds of experiences. At UCF, we have got a long-standing partnership with Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin has a few facilities here in the Orlando area, and we've got a work experience program with them where every year hundreds of students get work experience at Lockheed Martin. This year it's been a little different. This year's been a little bit different with everything. Right now we've got about 300 students working there, but in past years we've had upwards of 500 students at any one time. So at your school, look for various special programs that you might want to get involved with too.
Great. So how many jobs should students be applying for?
That's not a number I can really define, so I won't even think about it as a number. It's more important to be persistent than to think that there is a quota for the number of jobs that you should be applying for. And in these times, I'm not trying to sugarcoat that it is very difficult in some sectors right now. Other sectors are actually booming, but there are certain areas, for instance, here in Orlando, our hospitality industry has been hit hard. But let's not think about a number of positions I need to apply for, but let's think of a different strategy. Number one, you have to make it your job to look for a job. It's not just once in a while, I'll go online, I'll look for something and make an application. No, you stick with it, you're persistent, you identify things that you might be interested in. You might need to pivot right now. And if there's one thing that college students and high school students right now are learning to do, it's pivot. For years, you may have been thinking you're going to go one direction, and right now is not really the time you can do that. So think about other ways that you can use the skills that you've developed in school, but to use them a different way. So I would encourage students to use all the resources at hand. Their campuses will have a system for students to seek jobs. At UCF, we use a product called Handshake, and students can go into Handshake and identify employers that are specifically looking for UCF students. They may be looking at other schools too, but we know they're looking for our students because they have actively chosen to post positions with us. Use that resource, but there are many, many others too. And you're not going to make application for job A and then wait to see what happens with that before you apply for job B. You're going to have a bunch of irons in the fire and see what can come of it. But I know students, everybody can get discouraged if you're not getting immediate results. Be patient. It's unlikely that you will get immediate results. But as the weeks go by and as you continue to look for positions, just be persistent and continue to look in every place that's possible. And be prepared to be flexible and pivot.
Great. Well, thanks, Lynn, for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And for more interviews like this, please subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.